Good morning, everyone. This is Titan Learning Day number 20 for Pre-AP Geometry, and here are some notes on section 12.5, circles in the coordinate plane. First, we're going to have theorem 12-16, which is the equation of a circle. You can put this in your composition notebook. It says that an equation of a circle with center HK and radius R is always going to have the formula h minus k squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now remember, the parentheses are going to lie, so you're going to do the opposite of whatever the points are for the center. So you have your circle, and here is the origin. You have the center of your circle, which is xy. Then, you have the center of the circle, which is HK, and the radius takes you to point XY. So the radius is the length here, which is going from the center HK to the point on the circle XY. So an example problem might be, what is the standard equation of a circle with center 5, -2 and radius 7? So now we're just going to input the information into the equation for the formula. Now remember, parentheses lie. So if my h value is positive, when I put it in the parentheses, it's going to be negative. And remember, if my y value is negative, when I put it in the parentheses, it's going to become positive. So x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So 5 is positive. It's going to go into the parentheses as a -5. 2 is negative, so I'm going to do the opposite. It's going to go into the parentheses as a +2. So my equation is going to be x minus 5 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 7 squared. And when I clean that up, I'm going to get x minus 5 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 49. Okay, make sure that that makes sense to you. If you don't understand something that I've done, then you can just send me a question on Remind, and I can go through it with you again. If you don't have Remind, you can send the question on Google Classroom for me. Let's look at another example. The next example is, what is the standard equation of the circle with center 1, -3 that passes through the point 2, 2? Okay? So we are going to have a point, let's go back to the first picture, on the circle, and we're going to have the center of the circle. So what can I do to calculate the length of the radius if I have 2 points? Yes, the distance formula. And we should already know the distance formula, but I wrote it down because we all probably have forgotten a lot of things thus far. So we're going to have to use the distance formula. So the distance formula is the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Remember, it doesn't matter which point you use for x sub 2 and which point you use for x sub 1, as long as you consistently use the same point for x sub 2 and y sub 2. And then the other point would be x sub 1 and y sub 1. So I'm going to make my x sub 2, y sub 2 the center, and my x sub 1, y sub 1 the point. So I'm going to have the square root of 1 minus 2 squared plus -3 minus 2 squared. When I simplify, I'm going to get the square root of -1 squared plus -5 squared. That's going to give me the square root of 1 plus 26, which is going to be the square root of 26. Now, I have the center up here, which is 1, -3. And I have the radius here, which is the square root of 26. So I'm going to put it back into the formula. So when I put it back into the formula, remember, parentheses lie. So if the 1 is positive, it goes into the formula as a -1. If the x. And if the y is -3, it goes into the formula as +3. So I'm going to have x minus 1 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals the square root of 26 squared. And remember, we talked about the fact that if you're squaring a square root, so the square root of 26, times the square root of 26. You just pull out the number that's under there. So the radius squared is going to be a solid 26. So the formula for this equation, or the equation for this circle, is going to be x minus 1 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 26. So those are two examples of what you're going to get for Titan Learning Day 20. Again, if you have questions about it, just get in touch with me and I'll try to clear it up again. You can watch this video over and over again. Give me comments on what I can do to make it better, so we can start learning some new content online. Have a good day.